Okay guys, so let's talk about the cell parts. Today what we're going to do is we're going to finish up the organelles that you'll need to know for this section. So as you can see, we finished up with the ribosomes last time. So what we want to do now is move on to the next structure. So here we have the endoplasmic reticulum. There's the rough and the smooth. Now I will tell you that big long words, so sometimes we call it the rough ER or the smooth ER, or sometimes we'll even call it the RER or the SER. So let's talk about the function, what you would write on your poster. So the first thing that we have is the rough ER, and the rough ER looks rough in appearance because it has ribosomes on it. The smooth ER looks similar to the rough ER, but it does not have ribosomes. So therefore, it makes it look smooth in appearance. So the rough ER has ribosomes, and if you remember last time, we said that the ribosomes' function was to make protein for the cell. So it would make sense that if the rough ER has ribosomes, that it has something to do with making protein. So actually the rough ER makes and transports protein for the cell. The smooth ER, on the other hand, the smooth ER does not have ribosomes, so it doesn't have anything to do with protein. Instead, its function is to make and transport lipids. If you remember back from chapter 3, I believe, or no, it was 1-3, the lipids are also known as fats, and so they make and they transport those fats. So moving on to our next structure, and you have the other video that will show you where to label these so that you can kind of go through that. Here you're just kind of writing down the information. So here we have a mitochondria, and the mitochondria has a couple nicknames, the mighty mitochondria or the powerhouse. This produces energy for the cell. It's kind of like the cell generator. It produces, if you remember the 3 letters, do you remember the 3 letters that make up energy for the cell? That's ATP. So anytime you're dealing with the mitochondria, it's producing ATP for the cell. Then going on to the next structure is the chloroplast. Now the chloroplast is green. And when you color that today and you go through that other video, you're going to see that you're going to need to color this one green. Now chloroplast is only going to be found in the plant cells, not animal cells. So the chloroplast also deals with ATP or energy. And the chloroplast stores that energy as well as makes it. The next structure we have is the vacuole or the central vacuole. In a plant, I'm going to go get the plant cell. In a plant, the central vacuole is very, very large. This huge structure right here, that is the central vacuole. It's very small in an animal cell. And you'll see that on your picture today that you're going to have the small animal cell vacuole, not the plant cell central vacuole. Now the function of this is storage. It's kind of like a trash can, and it houses the materials in an animal cell. In a plant cell, it stores a lot of stuff like water, salt, waste, but even nutrients. The next structure we have is the lysosome. The lysosome is like the cleanup crew or the janitor of the cell. It cleans up the unused or the dead portions of the cell. And so the lysosome gets rid of items that aren't needed. So it has these digestive enzymes. It's little balls of acid that kind of just get rid of that material. In the animal cell, the vacuole fuses with the lysosome to get rid of it. The flagella, what is that picture of? Yes, indeed, it's sperm. That is sperm. And so the tail of a sperm is flagella. Typically, flagella is 1 or 2 small hair-like appendages. They're kind of long. They're kind of longer than the next structure, which is cilia. Now cilia, they're really short hair-like appendages, but there's a lot of them. Flagella, there's typically 1 or 2 long ones, and they move in a whip-like motion, helping the material move from one area to another. And cilia actually moves like oars in a water, and there are certain types of cells that actually have cilia on them. You have cilia in your nasal cavity, and that's to move mucus. The The other structure we have is the Golgi apparatus. Your book says it looks like a stack of pancakes, which is a little weird to me because I don't want to break out the syrup when I see this. But the Golgi is in layers. It is in layers, it is in stacks. And when I come back, I'll show you that information on, or some different types of Golgi on some other models. The Golgi modifies and packages those proteins and lipids that are made in the cell. And then our last structure that we want to go through is the centrioles. Now the centrioles sit at 90-degree angles from each other, and they help with cell division. Only animal cells have them, not plant cells. Hope this helps. And at this point, you probably should be working on getting the cell picture done.